Everybody, welcome back to Fire Your MD Now Radio. Mike Phillips filling in once again, as is how it goes around here every single Friday. It's October 3rd, 2014, and it's getting really cold where I am, but I'm not even going to talk about that because I get to look outside the window and see it every time I get an opportunity. Let's get right into it. RT is reporting. Listen to this headline. Deaf doctor who ordered unnecessary chemotherapy could resume practice. Now, there's a lot of news out there about cancer. There's a lot of people suffering with it. But let me ask you a question. What if you never had it in the first place and the treatment killed you or somebody you love? A Michigan doctor facing upwards of 175 years in prison for fraud, conspiracy, and money laundering could be practicing again in half a decade, and that is worrying to, among others, relatives of former patients who have since passed on. The so-called deaf doctor oncologist Farid Fatah pleaded guilty earlier this month to 16 of the 23 counts he was under fire for after routinely misdiagnosing patients on purpose, in order to subject them to expensive and sometimes deadly treatments, the likes of which earned the physician lucrative kickbacks from healthcare providers. According to the indictment, Fatah submitted $225 million in Medicare claims between 2007 and 2013, of which almost half involved chemotherapy. In turn, Fatah received over $91 million from the United States government administered social insurance program. Fatah's medical license was revoked in January, and in September, he pleaded guilty in U.S. District Court to more than half the charges he's up against. At sentencing in February, he could receive a jail term as long as 175 years in prison related to healthcare fraud, of conspiracy to pay or receive kickbacks, and money laundering. Michigan's Click on Detroit reported that federal prosecutors seek a life sentence for the doctor. Should the jury go easy, however, then Fatah could be practicing medicine again in hardly any time. The Washington Post reported on Wednesday this week that Michigan law allows for Fatah to have his medical license reinstated in just 5 years, raising fears from the family members of former patients and politicians alike. Although no deaths have legally been attributed to the doctor, legally attributed, the relatives of a few former patients of Fatah say his scheme could have certainly had a role. Yeah, you think? Dr. Fatah told my dad it would make it easier. His kidneys eventually failed. Jeff Burrs, whose father was treated by the physician, previously told the Associated Press. Did the drugs kill him or the cancer? I don't have any definitive answers, but I do have my suspicions. Every time I turn around, I'm running into somebody who knows somebody who is treated by Dr. Fatah. This is so widespread. It is the most egregious case of healthcare fraud I've ever seen. U.S. Attorney Barbara McQuaid has already said of the ordeal. I think what makes this case different is this is not just a case of a doctor billing Medicare for extra treatments or treatments that weren't rendered in order to make a profit. This was a case of a doctor exploiting patients, using them as commodities in order to make money. It wasn't a matter of stealing money, but torturing patients by lying to them about having cancer, she said. Chemotherapy is poison intended to kill cancer cells. But with Dr. Fatah being considered a killer as well by some, concerns have come up regarding whether or not he'd be legally able to practice again if a light sentence is dished out during February's hearing. State Rep Peter Patelia, a Republican, is also in the group that says the embattled doctor should be forever kept away from patients and is hoping he can assure as much with a bill currently being considered by Michigan lawmakers. This is all about protecting patients from physicians who are intentionally breaking the law, Farrington has said of the bill. which would permanently keep doctors from having their licenses reinstated if they're found to have defrauded patients for financial gain. The Post reported that the Michigan House Health Police Committee approved the proposal to tighten current rules for physicians. Last week and on Tuesday, it was referred to a second reading, according to the state's website, after the family members of former patients spoke out against Fatah during a meeting in Lansing, the capital city. In order to make sense of my mother's death, I need to prevent this from happening in the future, Michelle Manarino, who lost her mother, told an ABC News affiliate. I can't bring my sister back, but I can help the state make sure it doesn't happen again, added Cynthia Burt, who lost her sister. So people are dying. And this guy was putting them through horrendous chemotherapy treatments. Now, chemotherapy is not very effective. In fact, if you live 5 years after the treatment, you're considered a cancer survivor. And most of the time, your body is absolutely destroyed by that treatment. Now, I know people, well, let me just say I knew people locally here that were falsely diagnosed with cancer, operated on, and then died as a result of complications after. Here in little old Camrose, Alberta, it happens all the time. Now, I am not just a big fan of longevity. I'm a big fan of whatever works. Longevity happens to work. I've gotten my health back. My wife has gotten her health back, and several other people I know. Now, if something else comes along that works, I look at it. And there's this Dr. Brzezinski who has a clinic, and we're going to play you a clip of a man who used his services. This is Sergeant Rick Schiff testifying in court of what happened to his daughter as a result of chemotherapy after, well, we'll let Sergeant Rick Schiff explain it. Let's roll that clip. Obviously, the clip is not ready to go, so I'm just going to keep talking about it. Now, chemotherapy destroys people. It absolutely destroys people. I've seen it over and over again. I think we got that clip ready. Let's roll it right now. Sergeant Rick Schiff.
My name is Sergeant Rick Schiff. I'm an 11-year veteran of the San Francisco Police Department. I hold the department's highest Medal of Honor for bravery. That used to mean a lot more to me than it does now. What I'd like to talk to you about today is my now 7-year-old daughter. This is an identical twin. Her sister is now dead. Her sister, when she was 4 years old, Kristen, developed a highly malignant brain tumor that had spread throughout her spine and her brain. The doctors told us that we had really two options: take her home, let her die, or bring her in for massive dosages of chemo and radiation simultaneously. In either event, she was going to die. They were quite certain of that, and very quickly. Believing her only chance to be the standard route, we gave her the chemo and radiation. It burned her skull so bad she had second-degree burns and her hair never came back. To change her diapers, we had to wear rubber gloves because her urine was so toxic and it burned her. At the end of 6 months, miraculously, she survived the standard treatment, although there was a high expectation she wouldn't. She still had cancer. We were told, sorry, we've done everything we can. Now she's going to die, probably within a couple of months. My wife and I, choosing not to accept that, started reading. The first book I picked up, the third chapter, discussed Dr. Brzezinski. As you may guess, I have some expertise in fraud. In fact, I'm quite certain there are enough attorneys in the room that I could be board-deared as an expert in fraud. And I conducted my own investigation. I have no doubt the man is not a fraud. I have no doubt that he does what he does out of earnest belief that his medicine works. And now you're in a position to judge for yourselves whether it works or not. But it's well established by the FDA that it's non-toxic. 18 months later, we took my daughter off the anti-neoplastin. She had not died. She had no signs of tumor. She remained free for 18 months of cancer. Within a month, the cancer was widespread in her brain. We put her back on Brzezinski's. By the way, at the objections of our doctors, for some reason felt that it had failed her. We put her back on. Within 9 weeks, the tumor was completely gone. She died last July of neurological necrosis. Her brain fell apart from the radiation. The autopsy showed that she was completely cancer-free. Out of 52 cases of that disease ever, no one died cancer-free, just Chrissy. So she didn't die of a terminal illness. She died of my inability to care for her properly, and she died from bad advice. She died because there's a government institution that disseminates false information and is not looking out for the welfare of the people. You know, ladies and gentlemen, I swore an oath 11 years ago, and I think most of us in this room swore it at one time or another, to uphold the Constitution. It says life right in the beginning.
As Dr. Glidden is fond of saying, if you're not angry, you're not paying attention. He lost his little girl, and it was not due to the cancer, it was due to the chemotherapy. Destroyed her brain, took it right apart. Her beautiful little twin sister sitting beside her dad in court there, not really understanding what's going on. I've seen it. I knew a lady who had a false diagnosis of breast cancer, had surgery, died from the infection. You know somebody like that. Now, here's the deal. Don't get cancer in the first place. Strengthen your body. Your body has got systems in it that will fight off just about anything. I'm talking cancer. I am talking about diabetes. I'm talking about high blood pressure, bone and joint pain, Ebola even. You can do it. Mike Phillip filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden. We're going to come back after this message to your calls. Welcome back to Fire Your MD Now Radio. Mike Phillip filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden, and we are going to take some calls here. We got Patricia in Utah, and I believe Dr. Wallach is going to be speaking tonight. Patricia, are you there, and can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Excellent. How are you doing in Utah, Patricia?
Oh, pretty good. It's a beautiful day.
Yeah, I bet it's a lot nicer than Western Canada.
Probably so.
So you guys have Dr. Wallach speaking in your town tonight. Would you like to give out the details on that?
Yeah, he'll be here tonight and tomorrow night. It's in Vernal, Utah, at the Western Park. That address is 302 East, 200 South, and it's at 7 o'clock, both tonight and tomorrow night.
Excellent. So how long have you been with Youngevity, Patricia, and what kind of things have you seen in yourself and your family and loved ones?
Well, I've been with Youngevity for 3 years. I had fibromyalgia, and I had I've had whiplashes, so a lot of pain.
Yep.
So being the CM Plus, I think, is a favorite product I've ever tried. And I've been into nutrition and done nutritional testing for 30 years. And I've never seen anything that helps with inflammation in the body like CM Plus does.
Wow. Yeah, you know what? It was the same thing with us. And you know what? I've been in it for about 3 years now. And a lot like you, the reason I got involved is because my wife, Jennifer, had constant pain, and the best medical science that the West had to offer in the form of free Canadian health care, if you believe that, they could not help her. Doctors, rheumatologists, pain specialists, they wanted to give her drugs. They wanted to give her antidepressants because, well, you're in a lot of pain, so you're probably depressed, so let's drug you. So on the one hand, we tell our kids don't do drugs, and on the other hand, we throw them all over the place.
Oh, yeah, fibromyalgia, they'll give you muscle relaxers, sleeping pills, pain pills, antidepressants. You'll be depressed.
Oh, yeah. That's right. And in pain, and the drugs quit working.
Yep.
And they make you feel like crap, too.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. So if you're in Utah and you want to come and see this amazing guy, Dr. Joel Wallach, he figured out and probably forgot more than most of us will ever know, but we're very grateful for the things that he's done. And Patricia and her husband will be hosting him tonight in, what was the name of that town?
Vernal, Utah.
Great. Thanks for calling in, Patricia, and I hope you guys do well.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to let you go, and we're going to jump over to Belinda in Northwest Indiana. How you doing, Belinda?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
Well, I'm great. I was just talking to a member of Team Glidden yesterday in Indianapolis, actually, and Dr. Wallach is going to be coming to Indianapolis on, let me see here, October 9th at the Indianapolis Inn, 8181 North Shadeland Ave at 6 o'clock registration, and it starts at 7. So that's interesting. What's going on in your life, Belinda?
Well, my godfather was just diagnosed with rectal cancer, and he also has an enlarged prostate.
That's not fun.
He's concerned because the doctor said he doesn't need to change anything that he's doing, and they're starting him on treatment this week. And he called me, and he's like, I don't feel confident with what they told me.
Smart man. Smart man. You heard that first clip we rolled there, hey?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a scary thing. So, my approach to cancer is, I lean heavily on information I have received from greater men than myself, and I've seen a lot of differences in people's lives with some of the same problems that your godfather's looking at. And how did you hear about the show, Belinda?
I'm a distributor.
Excellent. Good for you. So, number one, the best thing you could do is get your godfather to come with you to see Dr. Wallach in Indianapolis if you can make it. And most people that I've talked to, if they had any doubts in their mind, after seeing Dr. Wallach, it erases them and they're fully on board just because he's such a powerful speaker. And the topics that he covers are so controversial and foreign to most people. But you know what? The truth has a certain ring to it. And when you hear it, you can't deny it. So what I would do if I was you, I'm going to cover after this break. Then we're going to get to Lawrence in Canada, Jim in Myrtle Beach, and Anthony in Detroit. Mike Phillip filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden. We'll be back with Belinda after this. Welcome back. We're live on Fire Your MD Now Radio. Now, before the break, we were talking to Belinda in Northwest Indiana, and her godfather is going through some things, rectal cancer and enlarged prostate. That's what they've told him anyways, and that's the problem, too. You can't always trust them, but, let's go with that. Belinda, are you still there?
I'm still here.
How much does your godfather weigh?
He weighs about 215 pounds.
215 pounds. So what you're going to want to do, if I was your godfather and I was listening to you because I trusted you, I would go with the 2 healthy brain and heart packs. Okay? And the reason I'm saying that is because of the selenium, and I would actually add extra selenium to that. I would go with 1 bottle per 50 pounds body weight. And we want this guy to load up on antioxidants. So there's a number of different ways you could go with that. You could do the triple treat chocolate. You could do the Cell Shield RTQ. There's a product called Z Radical that has an unestablished ORAC value, ORAC standing for oxygen radical absorption capacity. And these are the kind of things that this guy wants to get into his body. And what that's going to do is it's going to give his immune system a sword and a shield to go on a hunt after anything that's wrong with the body. And once those 90 essential vitamins, minerals, and amino and fatty acids reach their target, his body will start to fight for the first time. And it's funny because you were saying that they said don't do a thing differently.
Yes.
Yeah, don't change a thing. Are you aware of that? Well, it's just, I shouldn't be laughing, but it's crazy, right? I mean, keep doing the same thing you're always doing, and you wound up in this situation. And that's their best advice. Are you aware of the 10 bad food list, Belinda?
Yes, I have it on hand.
Okay, good. So go over that with your godfather and bring this advice to him. Is he listening right now?
He's not. I'm going to share it with him later on today.
Okay, if you go to gcnlive.com, you can actually download the podcast of this show from the archives, and the show will be looping at GCN all weekend long, so you can just play it for them. Sound good, Belinda?
Sounds great. Thank you so much.
You bet. Best of luck, and I hope that things work out for you. We're going to let you go, and we're going to go to Canada, where I'm currently located. We're going to talk to Lawrence. How you doing, Lawrence? Lawrence in Canada, going once. Going twice. And we're going to put you on hold and see if you can't come back here, Lawrence. Jim in Myrtle Beach. Jim, are you there and can you hear me?
Yes, Doc, I can hear you.
Right on. How you doing, Jim?
Fine. I've been working with Doc since 1997, but I've run into an old fellow, 80 years old, 150 pounds. I got him on the Mighty 90 and Ultimate Daily, but he's picking up some fast heartbeat, and his blood pressure is bumping up just a little bit, and his circulation's off because he tells me that his toes, about the full length of his big toe back, that he's not getting circulation in his toes. What can we add that can help him get tuned up?
Well, a couple things that come to my mind first, if what I would do if I was in this fella's situation is I would add the plant-derived minerals, and I would double up on the OsteoFX. Okay? I've seen people with stage 1 hypertension that were already taking the Mighty 90, okay? And they ended up developing stage 1 hypertension. And like Dr. Glidden is fond of saying, if it's not working, you're not getting enough in or you're not absorbing it. Yeah. Right? So if this guy's diet is such that he's not able to absorb the vitamins that he's taking in and the minerals, then, he's going to have to double up. And, incidentally, the person I was talking about, when we did double up on the OsteoFX, the blood pressure issue balanced out in about 4 days. Now, if this guy's 80, it might take a little bit longer. But that's the first place that I would go,
What about stepping up the EFAs for circulation?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, man. How many is he taking? Let me ask you that.
3 a day.
3 a day? I would step that up to about 9 or so.
Okay.
I take 15 a day myself, and I'm not even 40.
Wow.
So, and selenium, too. Selenium would be a really good way to go.
Okay, how many selenium?
How much does he weigh? 150?
150.
3 bottles per month.
So that'd wind up being how much per day?
You're looking at 3 per bottle per day, so about 9.
Okay, so that'd be 9 per day on the same as the EFAs.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. So, anytime I hear of somebody that's already taking the product still having problems, the answer is just to go a little bit harder or switch it up. You know what I mean? It took us a while to figure out what worked for us, and something, the Healthy Start Pack, that's, non-negotiable, but everybody's different, and some people need more than others, and it's just that simple, and it depends on where you're at in your body, and you know what I mean?
I didn't catch your name earlier. From John, what is your name?
Well, this is Mike Phillip. I'm filling in for Dr. Glidden. I do so every Friday.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not a doctor, so don't call me Doc. What I am is a longevity distributor. And I'm a student of Dr. Glidden and Dr. Wallach. I've met both of them. I'm good friends with Dr. Glidden. And I've seen a whole lot of people get their health back. What part of Canada are you in, Lawrence?
So this is Jim from Myrtle Beach.
Jim, sorry, yeah,
no
I was looking at my Comrex and sorry about that, Jim. Wow, Myrtle Beach, it must be great. I bet you it's nice and warm there, huh?
You got to come down and stick your toes in the sand.
Lots of bikinis running around?
On the beach, yeah. Get your blood pressure up to normal.
That's right. Jim, go help out your buddy and let us know how it goes for you, okay?
Where do you live, Mike?
Well, I'm in Western Canada in the province of Alberta.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, we're oil patch and farm country up here. In fact, I was a rig hand for a lot of years, working on drilling rigs, and I can't tell you, Jim, how many times I got covered in cancer-causing material that the oil company made me sign a form saying that if I got cancer down the road, I have no legal recourse. We work with a drilling fluid called invert, and it's a mixture of crude oil and diesel, and it's used as a drilling fluid. And we would get these neoprene boots and wet gear from the oil company, and after about a week in working in this stuff, your boots, the rubber would start to bubble up and crack.
Wow.
So God only knows what it was doing to my skin. But you know what? I'm happy to report that I'm in my late 30s. It's been probably about 15 years since I worked on a drilling rig, and I have zero skin problems. So, you know, that in itself is a testimony.
All right. I thank you very much.
Jim, thanks for calling the show. We're going to let you go. Now, Lawrence, I'm going to give you one more chance here. Lawrence, are you there?
Yes.
Lawrence, I can hear you now, man. I tried to get through to you on just a minute ago, but I couldn't hear anything. So what's up in your life, Lawrence?
What's your name?
What's my name?
Yes.
Mike Phillip.
Oh, you're Mike. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're in Alberta.
Yes, I am.
I'm calling from Saskatchewan here.
Saskatchewan, right on, great province. I lived in Swift Current for about a year and a half.
Well, I am about an hour from Swift Current.
Okay.
Okay, so my question is, what's your opinion on MS?
MS?
Yes.
Multiple sclerosis. Well, I'll tell you what. Multiple sclerosis, from our point of view, falls into the same category as degenerative diseases like Parkinson's and lupus and Lou Gehrig's disease. And what it is a whole lot of free radical damage to the brain. All right?
Yes.
Now,
is it fixable?
Well, that depends on you. If you are willing to change your life around and change your diet and get on board with the Mighty 90 and a high amount of antioxidants, I believe that the body can come back from just about anything.
You know, like, I've been to quite a few, like, naturopaths, and they're all saying you don't have MS.
Okay, well, you know what? That's a possibility, too. There's a high instance of misdiagnosis in this area. And the fact is, the drugs that they will put you on for MS will absolutely destroy you.
I will not take any. I know that.
Yeah, that's good. So you're off to a good start, Lawrence.
So you said the Mighty 9. What is that?
90 minerals, vitamins, and amino and fatty acids that your body needs in order to function properly. You have systems in your body that are trying to fix itself constantly, okay? Your body was made to fix itself. What happens is you run into a shortage in an essential and things don't operate correctly, just like you can't run a car with no oil in the engine. You hear what I'm saying, Lawrence?
What did you say what this product was called?
Well, we use longevity products, okay? How'd you hear about the show, Lawrence?
About my uncle from the United States gave me the phone number.
Okay, so what you want to do is get back in touch with them, all right?
Yes.
And they will explain to you about the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. All right? Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. And, you know, it's chock full of vitamins, minerals, and amino and fatty acids. Now, what'll happen when you get those in you, like I said earlier, your body will start functioning correctly, and whatever's wrong, whether it's multiple sclerosis or what, I don't know sitting here, your body will fight it off and you'll start feeling better and better over time. Now, what we do recommend for people that are faced with a diagnosis as such is a high cholesterol diet. Okay, doctors are always saying that cholesterol is bad for you and you should avoid it like the plague. Well, nothing could be further from the truth. All right? I've heard Dr. Glidden tell people 10 eggs a day, soft boiled, soft scrambled. You want the yolk to be runny, and you want to give it to your body in order to repair the damage with a high volume of antioxidants. We're going into a break. We're going to come back to Lawrence after. Mike Phillip filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden, and we're going to go over to Anthony in Detroit after this. Welcome back. We're live on Fire Your MD Now Radio. Mike Phillip once again filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden. Before the break, we were talking to Lawrence in Saskatchewan about multiple sclerosis. Now, Lawrence, you heard about this from somebody in the United States that contacted you. Get back in touch with them and tell them that the Fire Your MD Now radio show recommended that you go heavy on antioxidants and one healthy brain and heart pack per 100 pounds body weight. So if you're just now hearing about us, we go off of the work of Dr. Joel Wallach, and we use the products that he developed in the Longevity Company. And I'll tell you what, you sound like a lot like me in that you've been to naturopaths, you've tried a whole lot of different things. And, before we got involved with Longevity, my wife and I were spending probably around $600 a month on supplements that, quite frankly, were crap. They did not work. They were ineffective. We got involved with Longevity, and we had a whole host of issues that we'd been battling with our whole lives disappear in around a year.
So this product, run that by me again. It's called
Healthy Brain and Heart Pack is what you want per 100 pounds body weight. One Healthy Brain and Heart Pack per 100 pounds body weight.
And how long should I be taking that?
Rest of your life, man. If we have a saying, it's 90 for life. There's 90 essential minerals, vitamins, and amino and fatty acids, and you need them in order to optimally function.
Yeah.
Okay?
This other product, it started N.
Sorry?
This other product that you recommended.
Well, I talked about the. Can you run that by me again? I had a hard time hearing you, Lawrence.
This second product that you recommended, it started with NI.
Well, I told you about the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack.
Yes.
And you're going to need a high antioxidant score, okay? You're going to need lots of antioxidants, and we have a lot of products that will give you a high ORAC score, okay? And that fights free radical damage in your body. And if you do have multiple sclerosis, that's what's going on. All right, Lawrence?
Yes.
All right, Lawrence, you got a bad phone line. We're going to let you go. Thank you very much, and we're going to jump over to Graciela in Florida. How you doing, Graciela?
Hey, Mike. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Girl, what's on your mind?
I called you back, I don't know, maybe 2-3 months ago. Well, I think 3 months ago. And I told you that I was giving my son, that he's 12 years old, and he's 115 pounds. I was giving the kids study because I didn't know that the kids was, at that age, at that weight, they're okay to take the Healthy Star Pack.
Right.
So you mentioned that to me, he's already, on 100 pounds, so he should be taking the Health Star Pack. And he was already feeling really well and with a lot of energy, with just that kid study. But when I changed to the Healthy Body Star Pack, it was a whole big difference. I mean,
how big of a difference?
Well, he didn't have any, disease or anything, but What happened is that in terms of energy, and he said, now I'm awake in the morning when I go to school, like I go to the first and second period in school, I'm not sleepy anymore because he used to just, not be focused in the morning. Now he is. And
now he just pretends to sleep.
Right.
Graciela, I hear the music. Can you hold your story right there and we'll come back to you after this?
Sure can.
Graciela, thanks for calling. We're going to come right back to you. Mike Phillip filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden. We want to help you get your health back, and we're going to try and do that after this.